Welcome to In Conversation With. My name is Rianet Whitehead, editor of FAnews and also the creator of The Insurance Apprentice. And I've got regular conversations with different people from all parts of the insurance and financial services industries about a variety of topics. Today, I have the honor of introducing you to the Risk Avengers. Yes, you've heard me, but there's a story, so I'm going to let them do the talking. So, welcome everyone. First of all, I think let's start with introduction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Stow. I am a corporate business development executive at Marsh.
Hi, Rianet. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Matthew Vagle. I'm a corporate broker at Lockton.
Hi, Rianet, and hi, everyone. My name is Prudence, and I am a quality assurance team leader at First National Bank.
Hi, Rianet, and hi, everyone. My name is Nobuhle. I'm an anti-money laundering analyst with ABSA.
Cool. Thank you for that introduction. So, you all work for different companies, you've got very different roles, but you all have one thing in common, or that is at least where it started. Tell me about this Risk Avengers story. Nobuhle.
Okay, so we all met through Milpark. Prudence and I are studying compliance and risk management, while Nicole and Matthew are studying short-term insurance. So that's how we met. Milpark is our common ground. So that's how we started out.
So where does the Risk Avengers fit in? What is it all about? Matthew, maybe you can share that with us.
Certainly, Rianet. So, as Nobuhle mentioned, Milpark Education is a higher education institute in South Africa, offering business and finance programs, including in the risk and insurance space. So last year, October, Milpark was invited to participate in the Spencer Risk Management Challenge, which is supported by RIMS and FM Global. As I understand it, there were a total of 38 teams from 9 different countries that eventually entered into the competition. So what is the Risk Management Challenge? I mean, it's a 7-month-long global competition for students where university teams compete to develop and present a comprehensive risk management report based on a case study. And the case study is standard for everyone, for every team. It's based on a real-life scenario. In this case, it was the city of Tukwila in Washington. And teams were effectively required to conduct a risk analysis, which includes assessing the city's top risks and developing a risk management plan, which then needed to include some proposed solutions to address the specific risks. So at the time when Milpark was invited in October last year, they reached out to a number of us risk and insurance students, including myself, Nicole, Prudence, and Nobuhle. We all volunteered to participate in this exciting challenge. I think what made it even more exciting was that none of us had ever worked together, or certainly to my understanding, very closely. So this was new for all of us. We got to discover and learn about each other, but it really was a coming together of individuals volunteering for this risk management challenge, which was new to Milpark. So that's when the Risk Avengers was formed, being the team name that was agreed by all of us. So the idea behind this name was, the Risk Avengers was the coming together of various individuals from different backgrounds, different experiences, different strengths, being able to contribute in a different way and, through their own unique skills. But, although each one could bring, something unique and individual, when coming together, that's when we created a force worth reckoning with. That's when the Risk Avengers name came from.
Sounds a lot like the apprentice and the challenge that goes with that. So, and then you guys did really, really well. Nicole, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how many teams went and how it went there.
So basically, just to elaborate on what Matthew said, we were, I think, 38 teams globally that entered the competition from various universities worldwide. For us, it was more about when we started or, got asked to volunteer or participate in the competition, we actually had no idea what we even entering. It was, okay, it's a challenge to work on something we've never done before with people we've never met before. So let's do this. getting the information, it was quite
Can I
difficult.
interrupt you, Nicole?
Yes.
Was the group formed? Did Milpark form the group, or did you have to put your hand up?
So they kind of reached out to, I would say, their top students. I don't want to brag.
Okay.
I don't want to mention that, but now that you've asked. So some of their top students in probably the risk management classes or courses. Not sure exactly how they've done the election on that. I think they asked maybe 6 or 7 or 8 people, and then depending on the availability of everyone and also the ability to actually afford, because again, in the beginning, we didn't know if we'd get sponsorships, if any costs would be covered. So we would have been prepared to kind of cover everything ourselves to go. And then based on that, whoever then remained, because there's a maximum of 4 people that's allowed to be in the team, it actually worked out exactly like that. No one had to sit out, it worked out to us 4 of the group. And that is how our team was then formed.
Completely on a voluntary basis, if I may just add.
Okay.
Yes, again, we didn't know that there's even prize money or anything. And for us, it was about learning, about growing, about, expanding our skills and knowledge, and also learning from other people from different, like we said, they do risk and compliance. We know nothing about that, or maybe bits of it, because some of the modules are like interlinked with the courses. But learning from how they think and how they see things, maybe we can incorporate that into what we do. Not even thinking we'd get far with this. We were quite shocked to know that our report came in on the top 8. So we said from the beginning, we're going in this to win, obviously, but we don't know where we stand. We don't know, what our chances are. Even if we don't make it to the top 8, what we gain from this as is just even participating and looking at how satisfied we were with our report once it was done. That to us was an achievement on its own. Yeah.
It's a huge achievement. Yo. A bit aside from the Risk Avengers, Prudence, can you please tell me how the conference was? How big, how amazing, how overwhelming? And I'm sure it opened your eyes to a whole new world, right?
Definitely. I mean, the conference itself, it was massive. We had over about 10,000 plus risk and insurance professionals from all over the world. And that included lots of educational sessions, networking events, as well as a massive marketplace where some of the leading innovative companies were there displaying some of their work and solutions to some of the global crises we're facing, and some of their identified risks that need solutions, and what they're doing and how we can implement it. It was massive. And it definitely did open up our eyes to where we are, as a country in South Africa compared to the global standards. And it not only did it open up our eyes, but it also challenged us to see how we can influence and contribute towards what RIMS and Risk World and the different corporations are doing in our spaces and beyond.
What I enjoyed, sorry to interrupt,
no problem.
Prudence and Nobuhle not being in insurance, how amazed, like they were walking around like, oh, what do they do? What do they do? And I found that quite exciting.
Yeah,
exactly.
now I can imagine. I think a lot of people envy you for having the opportunity to go, by the way. It's a huge privilege and honor to go there. Back to the Risk Avengers, how important is it to have the right partners in this venture? And then obviously this is a reminder of how important group work is, right? How important working together is.
Okay, well, I'll start. Prudence, I don't know if you want to add to my comments, because you and I had the conversation the other day. For me, I think for a team, any team or any project to be successful with a group of people, you have to have like-minded individuals, and you can't always guarantee that, but at least have a common understanding towards a common goal. If you're working towards something that you're all agreeing upon, trying to achieve the same thing, I don't think it is possible to kind of alleviate from that and try and like stray the project in a different direction. And I saw that with us, and also accepting that people are different, accepting that We each have our own unique skills. I can't expect someone to think like I do, answer like I do, but be willing to listen and understand, oh, actually this person's way of thinking is different, but let me try it out, let me listen. And actually then using that to collaborate everything together to just get a more comprehensive and fuller, better initiative and strategy towards reaching your goals.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, I think the first step is being the right person. It starts with that. I think we
I
all
like that.
Yeah, like a team, as an individual, what you bring in, it matters. And what I love about this team, and I think why we're able to accomplish so much, is that each and every individual sitting here came in with the right attitude, with the right mind, and with the right heart. And therefore, it was so much easier for us to work through everything, navigate finding time to actually work on the project itself, because we all came in as right people and we're intentional about it.
And it doesn't mean that you always have to agree on things, right?
Yeah.
And it's how you handle those disagreements and not agreeing with your team member. I think that is critical. Nobuhle and Prudence, maybe you can tell us what was the most exciting part of this whole project from the start right until San Diego.
Okay, for me, it was watching all these creative ideas and teamwork coming together to create something that we see now. Also, we are struggling to still understand how amazing it is. It was impactful. So for me, it was that seeing how everyone was contributing that, and it was how it was coming together. And how we were working so well together. That was really, it was exciting for me because I've worked with other people that were difficult to work with. So it was really exciting to be part of this team that was so understanding, and they were willing to help each other in everything, to hold each other's hands along the way. So that was really exciting for me.
And yeah, for me, it's not too far from what Nobuhle has just explained. But for me, seeing the results, the quality of the work we produced. I don't know if you've had sight to look at our report, but every time I look at it, it shocks me. Like, did we really put that together? But not only that, look at how many students and people have reached out to us via LinkedIn, and how inspired people are by this whole initiative. That really brings me so much excitement to see how many people are interested into going into the field, and how many people were inspired, to push. Those who are still, we know quite a few people in our workspaces that are also studying towards these qualifications, and how that, brought hope and inspiration to push on and to learn. So that's what this, that was exciting for me.
And maybe just to add on, I think also that it was on the 12th of Feb where we got that message that we made it to the top 8. I think that was also the most exciting part of this whole project. Yeah,
I can imagine, sure. But good things is not always easy. So surely there must have been quite a few frustrations, challenges. Matthew?
So I don't know, maybe the ladies in the team will have a different view. I never got the sense that there were any frustrating moments. I just somehow found that we all just, got stuck into it and worked together. Challenges, absolutely. I think maybe some of the challenges include, trying to understand what is expected from the judges. You can understand, as Nicole mentioned earlier, this is the first time we're participating in an event like this. We've got constraints around the number of pages. This is the first time we're tackling a real life case study like this. So, how much information do you put in? What do you leave out? So I think a lot of uncertainty is, perhaps a bit challenging. And then I think time and availability of all members. We all study full time. We also have the challenges of work pressure. And family commitments. I suppose, if anything, I probably presented more frustration to the team because of my availability. But I think, that was one of the biggest challenges. But, we made it work. We worked together in the evenings, and wherever we could find time, I think we all made a concerted effort to come together and work together as a team, understanding that each one needs to contribute. So we made it. I think, challenges aside, we made it, and certainly, I think each and every one of us are very proud of what we have achieved.
Did you listen?
Yeah.
Nobuhle?
Okay, I was saying that I echo the same sentiments, but maybe to just add on to what Matthew was saying, I think to consolidate the information was a challenge. It was all over the place, so we had to go through a bunch of reports and everything. So yeah, it was, but it all came out great at the end of it all.
Did you listen to your competitors' presentations at Risk World? How does it work?
I think
Anyone?
they let us the last or the top three. They then let the balance of the few teams that made it through actually listen. At first, it's like, do we not? We were actually then excited. We kind of ended up backing up one of the teams that were quite friendly and welcoming to us from the beginning. But sitting there listening, we used that as a learning experience, to kind of adopt a growth mindset, learning mindset. So you sit there and, what, we're not there, why not? What did we miss? Is there something we might have, like, just open our perspective and way of looking at things to, improve on that in future. And sitting there and actually listening to it, it was excellent. Definitely that's why they were in the top three, and whoever won. But I still am not for 1 second, I'm not proud of my team. Listening to that and considering what we put together, there's literally, when I just now, like, I'll talk more about maybe challenges or things that we would have changed, but I think what we put together is incredible, considering none of us specialize specifically in risk management. We come from completely different backgrounds. We're not even studying anything specific to that, and it was quite similar to everyone else's. So I'm still, it was nice to learn a few things, but it still matters. At least feel good, we're not bad, or we're not, because sometimes you kind of feel demotivated afterwards. You think, oh, why are we not there? And it was good to know that we still were all confident in each other's abilities and teamwork and what we actually produced after sitting there listening to that. So
it was a top 8, and then they chose the top 3.
Yeah.
And then the winner. Okay. Looking back, is there anything you mentioned, something, Nicole, is there anything you'd have done a little bit different?
For me, I wouldn't do much different, especially considering how much we actually learned in terms of insight and knowledge. If we had changed anything, we might not have been able to learn as much. So not much I would change, but in terms of the project, as Matthew mentioned earlier, like, time constraints was definitely a thing. So if we met at a stage, we were meeting every second night, X amount of weeks in the time. And then there were phases where I was away for a month. Matthew was traveling every second week for 2 weeks. This one was traveling. So that allowed us, or kind of minimize the time available. And maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks, we then got together twice in that week. So I think if we had known, or maybe expected for our team to go through and then looked at what our time availability is for each of us, considering we work and we travel, and maybe then prioritize the timing in prepping for the presentations and like preparing for the judges' questions. I think that was the main thing we didn't have enough time on, to actually just go. But other than that, I don't think I would have changed a single thing.
Yeah, I agree with Nicole. I think in terms of the process we followed, given the resources, the time, I think I wouldn't have changed the process. We really worked well. As Nicole said, if anything, it's just the learnings that we received out of this initiative and the presentation itself, getting the feedback of the judges, understanding the types of questions that they would ask. It causes one to think differently, and even when, as was mentioned earlier, watching the finalists' presentation, understanding their thought process and their viewpoints, if anything, it creates learnings and will help us in the future, if ever there's such an initiative again, to focus on other areas as well.
But not only for other initiatives like this, I'm sure this affects your daily life, your daily work, how you approach things.
Definitely.
It most certainly made you think about a lot of things a little bit different and how you approach it, right?
Definitely. And I think for me, not that I would change anything really, but I think from watching the top 3 teams and seeing how they presented their initiatives, I think I've come to understand and learn that there's power in simplicity as well. You know, we can go grand with all these big ideas, but the simple stuff sometimes actually tackle the problem very well. So not to undermine simplicity. That was my biggest takeaway for me. And going forward now, even in my work, I'm very cautious of how not to overcomplicate things. But
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that comment. So what now? Now you've won it. What now?
So maybe I can start and just say, I think the Risk Avengers brand is here to stay. I think it was great, and I think it was the start of something greater. Let me put it that way. I think if not all 4 of us directly, continuously, hopefully it inspires others. I think to embrace these kinds of challenges and come together. Just as the 4 of us from different backgrounds came together with different skill sets, and we did something amazing, inspire others to do the same thing, and maybe reach out to organizations, communities. I don't think we've quite fixated ourselves on what we're going to do next, but there's no doubt about it that this is going to continue. And I think it's just the thought leadership behind all of this and what it represents, I think, is the way forward. And I think as Prudence said, it's just about now how we can apply this in our day-to-day lives, in our careers, in our personal lives, looking at risk very differently through a different lens.
Yeah, and just to correct, we did not win it as in first place, but we definitely won in terms of representing our country there, coming in the top 8, being part of all of this, and the winning feel that we're taking out of that.
Absolutely.
And like Matthew and I mentioned, this isn't the end. This is only the beginning of Risk Avengers. What we want to do going forward, I think we said we'll give it about a month, kind of find our feet, just finish our exams, then kind of reconnect and decide on that next step. Because one of the massive things I've learned there, especially from some of the industry leaders that we were able to meet at the Risk World Conference, was how dedicated people are, or certain people are, in paying that forward. Whatever knowledge you've gained over, give it to someone else, help others grow, kind of get people to understand the insurance industry, how important it is, how interesting it is. And it's not just insurance, it's incredibly interesting, and there's so much to learn. And if we're just willing to share that knowledge with others, maybe then, not only can others upskill themselves and actually get better opportunities, but that interest will be there. And, that's where I want to go and get our team to see how we can give back to others. Who can we partner with and pay for?
You can definitely partner with Insurance Apprentice. I can see some collaboration happening here going forward, but we'll take that. We'll take that offline. Anything else that anyone want to add around this very exciting thing that you did, and about Milpark, and about anything else?
Like with Milpark, I just want to also add how grateful we are for Milpark, even taking the opportunity to say, listen, South Africa's never entered, Milpark's never entered, let's actually just take the chance, and then giving us the opportunity to go and represent them. We are extremely grateful for that opportunity. The amount of doors we've opened, not only for us as individuals, but as a team, as the Risk Avengers, as the industry, it's open-ended, and we are extremely grateful for that. And I hope everyone else studying through Milpark find out about this, and also next year enter, and don't underestimate their own skills and abilities, and the possibilities that they can get from teamwork, whether they're in the same field as you or not. Collaboration can definitely get you places.
Can I just add that from my side, again, I just also a heads up and a special thanks to Marissa at Milpark, who accompanied us on the trip, and was very supportive of us throughout the process, guiding us, telling us where we need to improve and where we need to focus in that way, at least just being that support, and the encouragement that has come from her has been immense. So just a special thanks to Marissa as well for her ongoing support on behalf of Milpark.
Yeah, and the team as a whole, I think the whole Milpark team, because for us to be able to get to this point whereby we are competing at a global level and to make it to the top 8, it just speaks to the quality of work and the caliber of students they're building through Milpark, and we don't take that for granted. And to also to institutions like IRMSA, the Institute of Risk Managers of South Africa, they've also helped us so much in guiding us, and so they must not stop putting in the work that they're putting into their different initiatives and so on, because it is producing results, and I think this was evidence of that.
100%.
Well, for me, I'm still in awe at how well we work together. So that's that's amazing for me, because we worked so well. There were not conflicts or anything. So we're able to just work well as adults. That's really great for me.
Nicole, Prudence, Nobuhle, and Matthew, thank you for your time. It's so exciting. I'm sure a few people are going to be inspired, most certainly, so they might reach out to you via LinkedIn or wherever. So thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your exciting journey with us. This is me, Rianet Whitehead, signing off.